All right. Welcome back to Roots Holistic. You know what we do? We tap in, we going on the journey within, you know what I mean? If it's your first time here, my name is Sisekelo. Most people know me as G3E. Um, yeah, um, yeah, let's just, do the most. Let's just uncover, let's discover, let's, just ultimately become better versions of ourselves by learning, discerning, earning wisdom, knowledge, power, um, illumination, however you want to look at it. But I think, a thought that's coming to mind right now is that a lot of people would say knowledge is power, but it's more the application of knowledge that is power. Because if you have power and, oh, sorry, if you have knowledge and you don't do anything with it, are you really powerful, But anyway, I would like to introduce you to a new series that I'd like to start here on the channel, and it's called The Daily Spread. So, for the next moon cycle, I intend to do readings every single day, and it's going to be very short to the point. And as much as this is a challenge to myself, I think this will also give short, condensed messages for everyone here in the collective. So, thank you for being here and sharing your energy with me. Just a reminder before we begin, please, guys, these are collective readings. Remember that not all parts might apply to everyone, but if it is for you, then definitely, I feel like there's a reason why you found this reading and why you were here at this time. I've set the intention that those who need to hear this are going to hear it, and may it find you in divine timing. I have trust and faith in that. So I pulled out some cards and I'm just gonna let you know what we got, and we're gonna tippy tap in, right? All right, let's go. So with today being a full moon, it is the 6th of August. Sorry, what am I saying? 6th of August. Maybe that might relate to someone. Sorry, it's the 6th of October 2025. Actually, let me just check. What kind of moon is it? Of course, it's a full moon. I think it's supposed to be a super moon as well. Let me just confirm real quick. Um, Let me just see full moon today. Yeah, and it's called the harvest moon as well. And yes, it is also a super moon. So full moon, super moon, harvest moon, three, Wow, it's crazy how that synchronicity always comes through for me. It's beautiful. And lo and behold, our first card here is the Three of Cups upright. Second card, we have the Four of Wands in reverse. At the center of our reading, we have the Magician. And following that, we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. And we also have the Six of Swords that's upright. As much as I'm noticing now how the Magician's in the middle of the reading, both cards to the side of the Magician they are upright. But I'm also, taking that as a synchronicity to say, while they were appearing as what they are right now, I think it's that tapping in, that tuning in on, the power of the Magician, honing in on your strength, your ability to create, your power, your manifestation ability that's really going to shine through right now. With it being a full moon, I was led to pulling some cards from my Moon Oracle card deck. And those two cards here are Hold Your Vision as well as Prosperity Lies Ahead. For Hold Your Vision, it speaks to the fixed moon, and Prosperity Lies Ahead speaks to a new moon in Taurus. So these are just additional synchronicities. It doesn't necessarily relate to the full moon that we have right now, but of course there are messages or energies that are part of this reading. At the back of the tarot deck, we have Judgment. And at the back of the Oracle deck, we have the moon that we have now, which is the supermoon. And it says their emotions are running high. Very, very interesting energy that we have sitting over here. Again, my eyes just keep being drawn back to the center of the reading. I think you are going through something where you are definitely finding your balance, finding your center. What is true to you when you go within? What is it that you're looking for? And I think about how in South Africa, with the load shedding epidemic, a lot of people would say often that, we don't have power, like, the power's out. And I changed how I even thought about that, in the sense of how we always have power. Power's never running out. If anything, when the electricity goes off, the electricity is out. But if we're going to say that the power is out, then we are actually casting a spell on ourselves by diminishing our own power. So I will encourage you to consider changing your language and your speech as to how you speak. Never say things that are limiting you, because the conscious does not differentiate. But yeah, anyway, let's go into the reading much deeper. So again, we've got the Three of Cups. Three of Cups speaks to, a group, a celebration, a company, just multiple people coming together. What, two is company, three is a crowd. Actually, that's what's coming through right now. But I get the sense that, it's a time to actually celebrate. I think you've gone through something where you've realized that, you know when you, I mean, if you think about it, when you are with people, you acknowledge things that you've been through, you catch up, you make a toast, right? So it's about celebrating yourself, what you've been through. But I also think there's a union with you coming together with like-minded people. I think about the cups, which are about, healing, emotions, and intuition. So I think right now, what's coming together is to say, draw closer to your tribe, so that you can actually start to celebrate your wins, and you can actually be in a space where you are free, where you have not only overflow for yourself, but with two other people. I'm also getting that with it being the number three, of course. So it definitely feels like there's a group dynamic here, but um, it could be interpreted in many ways. It could be you and two other people, maybe you, your spirit team, and something else. But it could also be like different aspects of yourself. So it's maybe like you are also emotionally stable, you are healing, and like I mentioned, your intuition is strong. So I think there's definitely just a coming together that's happening, and it's a positive coming together. With the Four of Wands in reverse now, and especially with this card here in the Third Eye Tarot deck, it shows four hands with their wands in the air, and they are trying to, like, almost like cast the spell together. Things are like intertwining. It kind of looks like a DNA strand. But with it being in reverse, it kind of looks like you are being reminded that you will be able to find your tribe and the people that you will celebrate with the Three of Cups. But then something needed to come apart. I think there's a certain home or structure that you needed to see for what it truly was. As I'm looking at the hands, I'm seeing different shades or different races on their hands. So it's almost like you're seeing different sides, different aspects of this. This also might speak to, again, like I was saying, it's a group dynamic. So I think there's a part of this group that you had to see for what they truly were, that you couldn't create, you couldn't manifest with them. And that's why you had to leave. I also think of like the Four of Wands as like a leaving of home in this position here. So I think, like, again, whatever structure or whatever was kind of previously being viewed as a stable environment for you to create in, for you to manifest in, has unraveled. So that's what I'm also getting with these DNA strands that are coming apart. I'm also getting with the purple and the pink there, there's definitely something to do with, like, third eye. And it's almost like in phases, in iterations, in stages, something was coming through, like almost like drip feeding, like piece by piece at a time. And with me even thinking about that, I'm also being drawn back to the Three of Cups again, where these cups look like they're spilling over. So, it's almost like, again, there were drops, there were little splatters ultimately along the path or along the way, little signs, little synchronicities that were showing you, like, hey, we're going to show you this image or this object, this picture from different angles, so you can see the different shades, the different sides, the different aspects of it, so that you could actually just evolve beyond it. And now, again, back to the sense of the reading, with you being in the magician mode, it's almost like, yes, again, it's like a mode that's being activated. I'm thinking about FL Studio, because of me making music. There's this one voice that goes activate. And I absolutely love seeing this because, here we have like the infinity sign, we put 8 on its side. And again, coming from the 4 of Wands, because you couldn't manifest, like it's almost like the DNA strands trying to like make or create a manifestation, that you ultimately are standing here by yourself. This is the first card in this spread that actually shows a person in their full totality, because I mean the others were just showing hands. So it's actually coming through that there was something about hands. I don't know, you might just be doing some work with your hands. You might be somebody who's quite crafty. You might be a creative, but I just get something about hands because here in the Magician card, we're seeing the hands are actually glowing and they're in fists. I think you've definitely had to fight for this new level, this new stage that you're on, or this mode that you've now currently activated. And, I'm getting like the witch wizard with the hat that this lady's wearing here in the image. And it's like, you've had to reground yourself all over again. Interesting how that comes after the 4 of Wands. And I was just saying, like, you're leaving a home, and that's, root chakra, that's your stability, that's your security. And over here with this lady being cloaked in the red, it's almost like you found this stability within yourself, the security within yourself. It's like an inner knowing. And I think that's, kind of speaking to what we spoke about earlier, is that, you're going within to find this very same thing that you thought you could find within a group. And if I'm looking at, just the background in the image, there's so much light being shined upon it. It's like there's stars. I think there's a lot of energy being driven towards the things that you're manifesting. And it's about focusing or honing in on your feelings. This is also reminding me of a reading that I did most recently on the channel, related to the Miriam. So if you do have some time, definitely do check that out, because I was speaking to how, manifestation speaks to how we feel. And, the more we associate good feelings to, our visions and our manifestations, that is actually part of the technique in ensuring that they appear much quicker. But ultimately, I'm also getting a lot of protection from this card. I'm thinking about how a heart is red, so your heart is being protected. But also, as we're traveling, there's a red stop sign, so it's like things are being blocked, things are being shielded. And I'm also getting that with the cap. It's almost like you've got this little a dome over you. You know what I mean? So a dome can also be looked at as like a home structure. So you've like created this new home within yourself, and you found or uncovered this new energy, this new, again, like we were saying, the power. You found the power within. I'm also getting something about perhaps calling your power back, which might be very important. If you have not done that, definitely do so. But if you have done that, then you calling your power back in, and with these hands coming together, it's like an integration thereof. Moving on, we have the 8 of Wands. Oh, sorry, not the 8 of Wands, but maybe actually that is a synchronicity. Maybe things are moving very quickly right now, or you're getting a lot of signs and messages. But actually, it is the 8 of Swords in reverse. So the 8 of Swords, that typically speaks to, freeing yourself, releasing yourself from something. The swords, of course, are about lies, truth, intuition, things of the mind, wisdom, intellect. So I think you're at a point where you realize that you have to free yourself from these traps. Some perhaps even being set up by others, or even perhaps within your own mind. There's definitely a difference between your thinking and your thoughts. And I think you started to differentiate between those two things, because I'm also seeing that same star energy coming off of the Magician card, where we are seeing now that it's like for you to maintain this new Magician state of mind. I'm also thinking now how the Magician is the only major arcana card. For you to stay in this major energy, in this high vibration, you need to be very discerning as to what is keeping you constrained, what is keeping you caged, and perhaps even situations, people, or places that might be trying to impose upon you, to create these restrictions, limitations. I'm even getting something about distractions. People might be trying to project or plant thoughts into your head that are almost like returning you back to a previous way of thinking or of thought. And that is not what you want to do, because again, even though this lady in the image has like the blindfolds on, I'm thinking of that as the blindfolds are being dropped. So there's something that again was being shown to you, which is why, I was being drawn to like both this Eight of Swords and the Four of Wands being in reverse. It's like these cards are linking, and it's like if the Magician is at the top of the pyramid, the things that had to fall are now that's in reverse. You know what I mean? It's kind of interesting how I'm looking at it that way. But it's like you were being shown that this group wasn't necessarily the group that you wanted to manifest with, to create with, because there were things about this group, different aspects or facets of them, that were not necessarily going to help you in any shape or form. And then lastly, we have our Six of Swords, and again we have the manifestation sign, the infinity sign, and it's still glowing. And it's so interesting that, from the Eight of Swords to the Six of Swords, both of them have a lady who's on a platform, whereas the one on the Eight of Swords looks like the platform is like, the ending destination. On the Six of Swords, it looks like the platform is the place to leap from and move to a higher place, because there's stairs, in both of these images as well. So I think what appeared as a limitation is now what is leading to your transition, or you almost like quantum leaping from one state to another. I'm also being reminded of that previous reading again, because we are seeing two circles, and from a circle being almost like flipped on its head, and the manifestation symbol is also two circles coming together. So I definitely see you creating some kind of flow. I'm even being drawn to how in the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck, the Six of Swords has someone transitioning from heavy or turbulent waters to calmer waters. But in this particular card, I'm seeing, four broken swords on the ground and then two swords leading the path. So I'm seeing something about, balance being, brought into motion, but also you being guided as to which path to take. It is definitely a higher path. It is definitely a path which requires you to take like higher steps. So I definitely see an elevation here coming through. But then it also is, again, speaking to movement, that you need to now look ahead, focus on your manifestation, and move forward. So at the back of the deck, we have the Judgment card. Judgment is speaking to a higher calling. And again, if we're thinking of it very literally, judgment is judgment, So things are being evaluated, things are being seen for what they are, what they have brought in. It's like an evaluation of the energy, and also tapping into the third eye, which is what I was getting actually with the purple and the pink earlier on the Four of Wands. I'm just seeing the number 113. That might be a synchronicity for someone. Light codes, angel number. But with the judgment, like I was saying, it's a calling. It's a an invitation to step into your highest self. And I think that's why we have the Six of Swords here, and both manifestation symbols coming through with that card, as well as the Magician. So definitely take some time to, go into meditation, some stillness. And, I'm thinking about the song that's been playing so much for me, which is Russ Adventure, where he says, what? I'm not lost, I'm on an adventure, right? That's like one of the main things in the song. But he speaks about connecting to the silence so that you can hear the guidance. So I think if you are looking for some kind of direction, it's a matter of like going within. And with this being at the back of the deck, I think it also speaks to that, is to say, if you are looking to understand the unseen, the unknown, things that might be hidden or not revealed to you at this time, definitely look into yourself. Just behind that, we have the Five of Wands. Of course, you're not going to see that in the image I've posted for this reading, but just to confirm, it's in reverse. So definitely avoid any type of conflict, any type of arguments, any type of competition. I think you are being called to be peaceful and, not be mad in any sense. I think there might be situations trying to rile you up, but that's that calling now. It's a call to peace, a call to stillness, a call to oneness, serenity. And I think that aligns very much with, our oracle card here, the holding your vision. Holding your vision means, oh my goodness, I'm being called back to yesterday's reading again. But oh, sorry, not yesterday's reading, the last reading I did. But you'll definitely see that on the channel. But it speaks to, the frame that we look at things in. What is our sacred vision? Which is again that Miriam card, is to say, if you can stay fixed on your vision, then you will be focused and you can actually bring it to fruition. I think as you are focusing on your vision, that's why you were also shown these people, environments, places, spaces that were not going to be part of your manifestation. So you got to move on. And then with prosperity lies ahead, I'm also seeing that being on the side of the Six of Wands. Sorry, the Six of Swords. Oh, Six of Wands, guys, that's our victory. That's our public recognition. So definitely, I accept that energy. Thank you, Spirit. But yeah, with the prosperity lying ahead, it's like, if you maintain focused on your vision, you're going to see some results. You're going to see the fruits of your labor. I'm also getting Nine of Pentacles right now, which I think aligns with this reading very, very much. So yeah, last card that we have here again, it's the back of the Oracle deck, which is the Supermoon. Emotions are running high. I think this also now speaks to what I was just mentioning now with the Five of Wands in reverse, where it's definitely about maintaining your peace, maintaining your stillness. Also with the Judgment here, there's a lot of emotions up in the air, and we need to let the dust settle. But while all of this is in motion, you just got to stay focused on what you got to focus on. I'm definitely getting 2112 now that I just saw on the timer. But yeah, I'm definitely getting something about how you don't need to worry about anything. As long as you stay focused on your vision, your spirit team, your soul tribe, your angels, your guardians, your ancestors, which is again drawing me back to the Three of Cups, you and your team ultimately, whether physical, spiritual, in any dimension, ultimately, in any state of our existence, they are here helping you and aiding you in ensuring your manifestation comes to be. It kind of gives me the sense that everything is already set in stone. You just need to kind of like let it like follow through, or just play your part in making it come true or through. So just play your part, stay focused on your vision, whatever it is that you need to do, keep doing it. And I just saw 222 on the timer again. But yeah, I'm going to leave it right there. Please let me know how this reading resonated with you. Do share, like, subscribe, and thank you. And catch you again tomorrow. Peace, love, and light. Yay, yay.